I'm sure many of our listeners will at some stage have come across Sam Seavey from The Blind Life on YouTube. Okay, so his channel has attracted upwards of 25,000 subscribers, and some of his videos have received quite literally hundreds of thousands of views. And we're delighted to have Sam join us today on our live event. So Sam, you're really welcome.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very, very much for inviting me.
It's great to have you with us. So Sam, whereabouts in America are you based?
So I am actually currently in central Kentucky, which is kind of in the middle of the country, kind of a little bit towards the eastern coast.
Lovely. Great to have you with us, Sam. So Sam, I know in a short while we'll be having a conversation on smart home tech, including the Amazon smart oven. But before all that, what I thought we might do is we might just take a moment where maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and The Blind Life, please.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm excited to learn about a smart vacuum too. That would be awesome. Well, I guess a brief history about me and the channel and all of that. I always like to start with my vision story. So I was diagnosed at age 11 with Stargardt's disease, which many people might be familiar with, some might not. It's basically a juvenile form of macular degeneration. So I started to lose my central vision early on in my teens, and in fact was legally blind by my mid-teens. And it's a hereditary disease, so my sister also has it. Mm-hmm. Many people that are familiar with or have grown up with vision impairment, you know how it is going through school and all of that. And my story wasn't any different. That aspect was difficult. Outside of school, though, I was a normal kid like anybody else. I rode my bike, I rode my skateboard, I built clubhouses out in the woods with my buddies, and just lived a normal life. And then probably we'll skip all the boring stuff and get right into the YouTube. Probably about 2011, 2010, I started working for a company that makes, or they had a business where they would modify Android devices, Android phones, Android tablets, and repair them for people. But this gentleman was making videos at the time about how to do these different really cool things on Android, how to, hack them, I guess you could say. And so I started working for him, making videos about Android systems, and because he needed somebody to do the videos, and this was something that I could do at home, and I could kind of cater it to my own needs. I could set it up the way that was going to work the best for me and with my vision impairments. And so I worked for them, making videos for about 3 years. That channel got up to, that was actually a sister channel to his main channel. And so the sister channel got up to, I think, around 10,000 subscribers. So it did pretty well. This was early on in YouTube where 10,000 was a pretty amazing number. And then, so right around 2013, I decided to kind of search on YouTube for my vision impairment, so for Stargardt's disease. And at the time, there wasn't much on there. There were maybe a couple medical videos talking about the medical side of vision impairments. Mm-hmm. But I was really looking for the life, people living with it, the stories. Yes. And there wasn't that much on there at the time. So that's kind of when I decided to start my own channel. At the time, it was The Blind Spot, which was kind of a double meaning. It was an homage to my vision impairment with no central vision. I had pretty significant blind spots, but I also wanted the channel to be a place on the internet that people could come and learn about vision impairment. So, a literal blind spot. And that's carried on, and somewhere along the line, it was 2013, so it's been 7 years now. And a couple of years ago, I had to change the name for legal reasons. Some other company had a similar name, and they weren't happy about me having it. So changed it to The Blind Life, and it's been going strong ever since.
Going strong, wow. Sam, about how many videos would you say you've created at this time?
On my channel, my Blind Life channel, I have over 570.
Wow, it's staggering. It's huge. Yeah. Oh, wow. Sam, so what I always find I'm a big fan of your videos, and what I find they're always interesting and well, obviously well researched. I always get the impression that you seem to have a lot of fun when you're making these videos. Does that sound about right? Do you enjoy doing them?
I do. Yeah, I do. It's I've always been a creative person, and so it's definitely a creative outlet for me. Although I post my videos on Saturday mornings, so come Friday and I'm stressing because my video is not done and I'm pulling my non-existing hair out. It's around those times that I'm not crazy about doing them. But once it's out and I see the reaction from the community and I get the emails about how, the videos have been really helpful for a lot of people, it definitely makes it all worth it.
Of course. Sam, I wonder, could you tell our listeners, what are some of the kind of central topics that you'd cover on your show?
Yeah, I talk mainly, well, the main focus right now is assistive technology. I was an AT trainer for several years, and I've been using assistive technology since I was a teenager. I love how helpful it can be, and especially now as consumer electronics are becoming more and more helpful for us. Yes. And I love sharing that information. But I also focus on the life side of the blind life. So, I do tips and tricks. A lot of my content is kind of geared towards people who are new to vision loss. Maybe they don't know how to navigate those rocky shores, and they've never been exposed to this world, and so they don't know all the little tips and tricks and the little life hacks, or the blind hacks I call them, that we have to do sometimes. And so a lot of my videos, are geared towards that, teaching people how to do that kind of thing. But I do collaborations with other amazing blind people. I feature blind professionals on my channel. I go to conventions a lot, and I will do videos from conventions and things like that, featuring new products at the conventions and stuff.
Yeah, kind of keep your finger on the pulse, so to speak, then.
Yeah.
So Sam, I understand that you've been using assistive technology since you've been about 11 years old, and I wonder, like, you've obviously been using it for so many years. Like, what do you think is a device that has made, say, the single biggest difference in your life?
Yeah, so I still rely heavily on magnification, and I'm kind of in the middle. I'm straddling the fence, magnification and audio feedback and things like that. So I think personally, digital magnification, I use it all the time, whether it's a desktop video magnifier or CCTV. Simply turning the camera on my smartphone and zooming in to read something. So, digital magnification, wearable devices, I think that's probably been the game changer for me.
Yeah, sure. And Sam, I suppose, you've done so many reviews, and so obviously so many videos, upwards of nearly 600 videos. Is there a product that maybe you thought was going to be released that you thought, it was hyped up, it was going to be amazing? Maybe when you reviewed it, it just turned out it wasn't really the case.
Well, that might get me in trouble if I say specific names. There's been a few. There's a particular smart cane on the market right now that's, I think it has potential. Right now, it's a little bulky. It's a little, you can't get it wet. And if anybody's a cane user, how many times have you dropped your cane down a flight of stairs, or, you've been out you dropped it into a puddle or something like that. And, these smart canes, and it's not just this one, there's been others, but I like the idea of them, but the practical everyday use, maybe it doesn't hold up. At least we're not there yet, maybe in the future.
I suppose, JP and Sam, these sort of companies and organizations need feedback on new applications and devices.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think, like, when apps fail or new technology fails, they haven't engaged with people with vision impairments before implementation, or they haven't actually got enough feedback back from people to see how it can be improved or where it's working and where it's not working.
Absolutely. I wonder, Sam, would you ever relay some feedback back to the people who are developing maybe this software or hardware? Let them kind of hear your thoughts. Do you ever link in with them to give them your feedback?
Yeah, I do all the time. Because as I said, I was an AT trainer for many, many years, and just being an assistive technology user for many, many years, you start to develop, the sense of what works and what doesn't work. And then being a trainer, I have to look at the pros and the cons. I can't just get excited, about a new piece of technology. I have to think about, how realistic is it? How useful will it be? Functionality, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that helps me in doing these reviews. I kind of look at things objectively, and I'll tell people, respond back to the company.
Yes.
I was speaking with a company just the other day that's doing this new technology that looks really, really cool, and it's very futuristic, and it may be a game changer, but I had some concerns. And even in the little presentation video call this guy was doing, I raised those concerns with them, and we had a discussion about it, and they had some good answers to it, good replies to it. So excellent. I appreciate that.
Yeah, excellent. So Sam, I wonder, what technology are you looking forward to in the future? Anything that's coming out that you're kind of keeping an eye on, and you're looking forward to it being released?
Well, I love the wearables. I love these, all these types of wearable devices. Unfortunately, they're kind of bulky. They're kind of big. They're obtrusive. I hear all the time when I make a video, many of the comments are, well, I would never wear that out in public. Would you go to a game, a sporting event wearing that? And my answer is always yes, absolutely. And I've done it many times, because I would rather see what I want to see than worry about what these strangers around me are thinking.
Yes.
But I totally understand where they're coming from. So I'm excited about all of these things getting more streamlined. There's this new battery technology that they're working on that's supposed to replace lithium ion, and it's supposed to be super small and high powered, and that will help streamline everything. Some companies, Mojo Vision out in California, they're working on putting a display in a contact lens.
Wow.
So it's like the world's smallest augmented reality display. So I could see tons of really cool applications for low vision with that. So that'd be really cool.
Wow, that's exciting stuff. So Sam, I wonder if someone would like to, occasionally I speak with service users, people who are registered with the National Council for the Blind, and maybe they're interested in podcasting and occasionally maybe creating their own YouTube videos and producing those. I wonder, would you be able to give someone like that some advice on so in terms of making your own YouTube video, like what kind of advice would you give to someone like that who maybe has low vision or who has a sight impairment?
Well, as far as YouTube, I would say not to do it because I don't need the competition right now. No, I'm just kidding, because it's really the VI community on YouTube is exploding, and it's great. There's new people making videos all the time. I actually made a video recently, about a month or two ago, and the video was how to start a YouTube channel with low vision. So in that video, I actually go over some tips. I'm a huge fan of creating systems, and as a blind person, we all make systems all the time. We all have these systems that maybe we don't even realize we're doing it, but it's the little things like I put my toothpaste in the same spots on my bathroom counter because I want to be able to find it the next time. It's got to be right there. That's my system. And systems can be simple like that, or they can be complex, but it's the same for making videos on YouTube, framing your shot, making sure you're in the shot on the camera, recording, editing. There's lots of tips and tricks, so I'd recommend anybody that's kind of thinking about that. And a lot of this can be carried over to podcasting as well, but I would recommend they check out that video. But the number one advice I always give is, if this is something that you're thinking about doing, just do it. Just start. And because I say, someone really, really cool once told me that you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start in order to be great. And it's so true. It's like, everybody thinks, oh, I want to do these things, but they never actually do them. So I would say just start and don't worry about it at the beginning, because everybody's videos or everybody's first couple of podcasts, they're always terrible. That's just the way it is, because you don't know what you're doing. You haven't figured out your style and all of that. So don't worry about those. Just get them out there and start moving forward, and it's going to get better the more you do it.
That's really, I think that would be really encouraging for people to hear that. So not to be too disheartened if the first one or two videos just don't work out. Keep going. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So how can our listeners find out more about The Blind Life and watch your videos?
Well, very, very easy. Even if you just go on Google and you search The Blind Life, you will find my YouTube channel. If you go onto YouTube and search The Blind Life, you'll find it as well. The URL, though, is youtube.com/TheBlindLife. Excellent.
I think a lot of people will be checking that out. So I really do enjoy the videos, and one of the things I always enjoy is that you seem to keep up to date with the latest in tech. I know when Microsoft released a Windows update in May, so straight away you had the accessibility features and enhancements that were a part of that, and you had some great demos there. So I enjoyed watching those. So Sam, listen, thanks very much for telling us about yourself and The Blind Life. And I think at this point, what we might do is continue on our discussion on smart home technology. And to start with, what I'd like to do now is we want to start playing the first video demonstration for today, which is the demo that you've recorded on the Amazon Smart Oven. So maybe you could just stick around for that. Maybe help to answer one or two questions after that, if that's okay.
Yeah, and I'd love to afterwards also tell you guys about an upcoming event that's going to be talking about smart home devices that people might be interested in.
Oh, fantastic. Would love that. Thank you. Great. So we might just line up that video now and play it now.
Today we are cooking up accessibility. Oh, that's terrible. No, we're not going with that. Today we're talking about accessibility in the kitchen. How about that? That's better. All right, hang on. I'll be right back. Today on the channel, I am featuring the brand new Amazon Smart Oven. This is a 4-in-1 microwave oven that was released in 2019 and has a lot of great accessibility built in. It pairs up with Amazon's personal assistant, which I've learned my lesson, and I will not be saying her name in the video. But actually, I won't need to say her name because there's a button on the microwave that triggers your paired device. As I said, this is a 4-in-1 microwave oven. It is a microwave, a convection oven, an air fryer, and a food warmer. And the vast majority of its operations can be done with your voice paired up with your Amazon Echo. That's what makes this thing such a great option for the VIP. In this video, we're mainly going to talk about the accessibility features of the Amazon oven. If you would like to learn about operation and performance, there are several really good videos available on YouTube. First things first, how much is it? How much is the Amazon Smart Oven?
Amazon Smart Oven, convection oven, microwave, air fryer, and food warmer. It's $249.99 on Amazon.
Whenever you order the oven, you actually get an Amazon Echo Dot for free. It comes with the oven. So that's like a $30 value right there. Then another option you can choose is they will also provide a free Braille overlay for the control pad here on the oven. It's specifically designed for this oven, fits right on perfectly. Braille indicator on every single button, but they also still have the button labeled for visual users. If you're not going to use a Braille overlay, this Braille overlay, I definitely would recommend using some kind of bump dots, puff paint, something to mark the touchpad here because it's not the most low vision friendly. There are only 2 tactile marks on here, tactile indicators. The Amazon Assistant button is raised, and then just below that there is a little bump on the 5. But that's it. Those are the only tactile indicators of a button. So let's talk about setup and how to use the oven along with the Amazon Echo. Setup was very easy. You just install the You Know Who app on your phone, go through that to add a new smart device, and in this case it's under the oven section. There is a QR code just inside the door here that you scan with the camera, and that will pair the oven up to the app. Then you just simply choose which Amazon Echo device you want to pair it up to. You can use this one, or you can use one that you already have. And from there on out, it's done. That's about it. The 2 are connected and can communicate to each other. Now, because this does multiple things, you get some accessories in the box. First thing you get is a food thermometer. And what's really cool is this connects on the inside. There's a port in there that you plug this into, and then this sticks into your food. Say you're making chicken or steak or pork chops, something like that. You can set this in there, and then the oven will monitor the cooking. So it really takes the guesswork out of preparing some of those dishes like chicken. Chicken's a big one for me. With this thermometer, you can stick it in and just tell the oven to cook the chicken, and it will automatically stop once it reaches that desired temperature. Now, I don't know about you guys, but one thing I use my microwave for all the time is to reheat coffee. And it's super easy with the Amazon oven here. Just set it in. And I can use the trigger word, but for you guys, I'll just push the button here. Reheat 1 cup of coffee.
Microwaving 1 cup of coffee.
The microwave automatically starts. We get a little verbal confirmation from the Echo, and very soon we will have a nice piping hot cup of coffee. Preheat oven to 350 degrees.
Preheating first oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Press start on your first oven to begin.
So I love that aspect of it. I can just tell it to preheat the oven. Visually on the display here, it's showing what the current temperature is inside the oven as it rises. If I want to check what that is, I can do that. I can do that verbally. What's the current temperature of the oven?
Okay. At what temperature?
Cancel.
Canceling.
How hot is my oven right now?
It's convection baking.
So the trick with this, just like all Amazon Echo interactions, is you got to find the right words. That's really been the only learning curve to this, is finding out the right things to say. Once you find out the right things to say, the right terminology, oh, it works great. But finding that out has been very difficult. Now, I will say that there are resources online. You can go to the website, and it has a whole list of everything you can say to the oven. So if this was going to be something you picked up and something you were going to use quite often, I would definitely recommend that.
If you're serious about your business, you need to build systems. And you have to find a great tool like money.com to do it. So
Now, one thing else to note about this is that it cannot be mounted above a stove top. So here in my house, I have a microwave above my oven, and unfortunately, I would not be able to put this in that location. It also has restrictions on how high above it something can be placed. They say 12 inches, although I've seen it differently in some review videos. But the main reason is because the top gets pretty warm when you're using the oven feature. Now, it can be mounted in cabinets though, because on Amazon you can even purchase a mounting kit. It doesn't come that way in the box, so it's an extra charge for that kit. All right, so in order to show you guys what it can do, figured I would make some cookies. So first things first is I need to melt this butter. Microwave for 30 seconds.
Microwaving for 30 seconds.
That's hella. What's the current temperature of my first oven?
It's at 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
And it actually just finished.
The oven's preheated.
All right, she just told me the oven's preheated. Now we just put the cookies in. Oh yeah, that's warm. Try to do this without burning myself. Okay, we got it. Bake for 10 minutes.
Convection baking for 10 minutes at 350 degrees.
All right, and we are good to go. In the microwave on the roof, there's a heating element, and when it's in convection oven mode, that heats up and the fan in the back circulates the warm air. Sounds like the cookies are done. And not only do I get the beep and the Amazon Echo tells me, but I also get a notification on my phone. It tells me that the oven is preheated and my food is ready. Something else that's pretty cool you can do with the app is scan to cook. And what that is you can scan the barcode of select items and it will automatically tell the oven how to cook that food or that meal. It's a really cool feature that could be very helpful for us. But the only drawback is that the selection of items is kind of small right now. There's some whole food items, some Marie Calendar meals, and a few others, and that's really about it. For a full list of items that you can scan, be sure to check out the Amazon website. Now, let's go ahead and see how our cookies came out.
App Exchange is your one-stop shop for ready-to-install solutions in Salesforce. Easily accessible.
Okay, looks like our cookies are done. So let's see how it looks. Oh yeah. Yep, they are done. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video about the new Amazon Smart Oven and specifically how it can be useful for the visually impaired. If you would like information about this, I'll have a link to it in the description down below. Huge thank you to Amazon for reaching out and sending me this oven for this review video. Thank you to you guys for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know if you need anything in the comments down below. I'll do my best to help out. Subscribe, turn on notifications, all that. As always, Sam with The Blind Life. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna eat some more cookies.
Great, Sam. Thanks very much for that video. It was, I enjoyed watching that.
We hope we helped out to add revenue also.
I know. Sorry about the ads popping up every now and then.
Hard to avoid.
If you guys want to, if you want to click on those, go right ahead. Though I won't be mad.
We actually just had a question come in there through our Q&A throughout the video, and people are asking, can you pair a device such as the Amazon oven using like an Apple iOS device or an Android device, possibly with the Alexa app, or is it only through you need an actual Echo in the house or an Amazon device?
That's a very good question. I'm not sure. I mean, when you buy the oven, they give you an Echo automatically. So you almost you won't really need to because you'll have an Echo. But that's a great question. I don't see why not. I don't see why you couldn't just use the app. I didn't try that whenever I had it. I don't have the oven anymore, unfortunately.
And your video gave the game away there, Sam, because everyone's always interested with guests if they're Android users or iOS users. And I believe you had an Android device during that.
I did. Yeah, I'm both. I use an iPhone and an Android phone, but I try to feature both in videos. In fact, my video coming out this Saturday is going to be featuring both. But yeah, and that one was just Android.
It gets very tribal here on the on our live events.
Yeah.
I know all about that. I've made several videos talking about which device is better for blind and visually impaired, and because it's such a heated topic, and yeah.
I think it's good. I think the competition and the banter is good between the two sides, and if both companies are taking that information and improving each device, it's all the better for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Sam. It's Joe.
Yeah, Joe, I think you had a question for Sam there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder, do you have any other devices in your home that are smart home devices? Like, I know you have an Alexa, but apart from that, do you use any appliances, other appliances?
I don't currently have any appliances, although our thermostat is about to die, and so we'll probably. I definitely want to get a smart thermostat when it does, and that was kind of the reason why I was excited when Amazon reached out to me about their smart oven is because I want to start incorporating smart devices in our house. I have Alexas and I have a Google Home hub, and I have smart plugs, so I have some lights connected to both platforms actually, and that's super helpful. I've got them in my kitchen. I made a video about installing those, in fact, underneath my cabinet. So I just tell her to turn on the cabinet lights, and I've got all this great light on the countertops. It's wonderful.
Cool.
I suppose, like in Ireland, a lot of these features haven't been released yet. Like the home heating devices have, and the lights, and like we're going to talk about some of the stuff later on. But the oven, it hasn't been introduced to Ireland yet, and even the Alexa Show, which we have in Ireland, they haven't introduced isn't it the show and tell feature, like where you can place something in front of it and say, what is this? And it's a bottle of cayenne pepper, or
yeah.
And I think we have to sort of encourage people this side of the Atlantic to contact Amazon and say, why aren't these features available here yet? And like we would really benefit from them, because I think the oven seems very, very useful. Like it's four things in one. You can control it with voice, and it's kind of like a no-brainer that people should be asking for this sort of technology, which is already available.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say also, do research. The show and tell feature, for example, it's only available on certain Amazon shows, like a certain gigabyte or something like that. I forget. My friend, who is totally blind, has RP. She was really excited about that, and then she got the Amazon show and then found out it wasn't available on that model. She had to upgrade to the more expensive one to get the show and tell feature. So definitely research that sort of thing. And also, the Amazon smart oven isn't the only smart oven on the market right now. I believe GE has one as well. So, shop around and do some research.
Yeah. Samsung, I think Samsung have one that works with SmartThings as well. So if it works with the SmartThings app, there's a good chance it will work for the visually impaired, as the SmartThings app seems to be very accessible,
Sam,
I'm a huge fan of I'm a huge fan of Samsung accessibility. Well, obviously, I've all my Android phones have always been Samsungs, but I have my computer monitor is a Samsung Smart TV. My camera monitor is a Samsung Smart TV, and just to be able to talk into the remote to have it change the source for me, the input source, or the screen reading. I've made a couple videos about my Samsung Smart TV accessibility as well, but having it read out, even going into Netflix and having it read out all the movie descriptions and everything for me, it's fantastic. It's really impressive.
Samsung has really upped their game in the last couple of years, and they're starting to label all their buttons on the app as well, which is really helpful, especially for totally blind users.
Sam, it does look pretty simple to use this oven, obviously, and I really like the scan to cook feature that you mentioned earlier. Do you think is it easy enough for someone to set up? So let's say if we had a service user who's blind and they want to set this up in their home, like do you think they'd need sighted assistance, or would it be possible for someone who is blind to set this up by themselves?
For setup, the only thing that you might need help with is finding that QR code that you need to scan with the app. But everything else is done through the app, so you could use, your screen reader of choice. And you may even be able to find, it's a sticker, so you may be able to find it tactically to snap a picture. It's definitely worth a try.
Excellent. Okay. Sam, you mentioned before we played the video, you mentioned an event I think that's coming up that you were going to let us know about. Do you want to talk about that now?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. So I am currently on the planning committee of a brand new assistive technology conference that is going to be held in October. And it's an online conference. It's an international conference. It's open to anybody. And it's all about assistive technology for the visually impaired. And the conference the name is the Assistive Technology and Trends Online Conference. So we're going ATTOC, AT Talk. And I made a video about it so people can get more information there. The website is assistivetechandtrends.com. But one of our speakers, one of our presenters is confirmed already, is going to be a gentleman talking about smart home devices and integration and things like that. So that's one of the talks. Microsoft's going to be there. We've got someone talking about Android accessibility. We've got, hopefully, I don't know if she's confirmed yet, but someone talking about assistive technology in the kitchen for cooking. She has a Kitchen Confessions. Her name is Mary. She's in Canada. She's amazing. So just a lot of really cool presentations and demos, a lot of wearable demonstrations, some really futuristic stuff that I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about yet. So I encourage everybody to check that out. If it's in October 1st and October 2nd, it's online, so you don't even have to leave your house.
I think that's kind of like exciting, where a lot of these home applications and appliances are no longer going to be bespoke, like built specifically for people with visual impairments, that everyday household items should work for both sighted and non-sighted people. I think that's a good direction that a lot of companies are moving in.
Yes, well, I actually here in my house, my dishwasher is dying quickly, and my wife and I are shopping around, and I said, I don't care about a lot of that, but it has to be Wi-Fi enabled and to be able to use with a digital assistant. And so that was a criteria, and we found one, and I'm very excited to be able to just say, Alexa, wash my dishes, or whatever the keywords might be, but it's going to be great. So any kind of that stuff that I can start to incorporate into my life to make my life easier, I'm definitely going to try.
Someday we're going to have the nanny robot from the Jetsons cartoon. That's going to do everything in the house.
Rosie.
Excellent. Sam, before you go, I wonder, would you be in a position to tell us anything about maybe one or two videos you might be working on at the moment, anything that we can keep an eye out to see on the Blind Life over the next few weeks, or is that top secret?
No, yeah, absolutely. The one that I'm working on, I'll be working on the rest of it today, and it will be coming out Saturday, is kind of an overview of the SuperSense application that's available both on iOS and Android. It's a new app. It has some of the similar features to Seeing AI, but it has some really interesting, unique features like an Explore, where you can just scan your camera around and it will pop out interesting or items of interest like doorways, chairs, computers. But then you can also customize that, and you can search for specific things. Like, say you want to find the stairs, you can search for that, and then as you scan around, when it sees a set of stairs, it will announce it, it'll vibrate, it'll start beeping, and you know that you just walk in that direction, and hopefully you won't fall down the stairs, but you'll definitely find the stairs.
Will that be on LiDAR only devices, or will that be on all sort of iOS and Android devices?
No, it doesn't use LiDAR, so it's any kind of device. In fact, I was testing it on my old Samsung Galaxy S8 phone, which is a couple years old, and it worked great. I'm testing it on my iPhone 10, and it works fine as well. So yeah, any device. So that's coming out Saturday. Next week is going to be a video featuring the new eSights glasses. I'm excited about that. I should receive those in about a day or two and start to get to play around with those. So we'll see how that goes.
Fantastic.
And then the week after that is going to be Orcam, talking about the newest Orcam, the Orcam Read, and the new features of the Orcam My Eye 2.
Do you use the Orcam a little bit, Sam, yourself? Do you use it much for day-to-day use, reading?
Well, I don't use it myself just because, as I said, I'm mainly magnification. But, when I was a trainer, I trained Orcam and demonstrated it a lot. I think it's one of the best, if not the best, OCR devices on the market right now. And just, I've been playing around with the Orcam Read, which is their newest. It's just a handheld device, and it's been fantastic. I mean, I'm really impressed with it. Just the short time I was playing around with it, very, very accurate. It's offline OCR, so you don't need to be connected to the internet, and it's really, really fast responses. So I'm pretty impressed with it.
Okay, so we have obviously some pretty exciting videos to look forward to there, Sam. So thanks for that, and thanks for letting us know. Yeah, it's excellent. Sam, we really do appreciate the time you took to come on to Live Event today and to tell us about yourself and, of course, the Blind Life. And of course, letting us play your video demo with the YouTube adverts included. So just as a reminder to our listeners, you can check out and subscribe to Sam's YouTube channel by searching for the Blind Life. It's a Google search. We'll put it up. So I'm a big fan of Sam's video, and I strongly recommend people check them out.
We can put the link into our podcast and also when it goes out.
Excellent. Yeah. So Sam, thanks again for joining us today.
Yeah, well, like I said, it was my pleasure. And as I mentioned in the email, Ireland is definitely one of those bucket list places that I want to go to. My family and I we're planning a European trip next year, hopefully, if the world starts to get back to normal.
Well, you'll need a bucket for all the rain we had yesterday.
That's all right. It brings out the green, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely, I'm excited. Well, when you sent the email, I was like, yes, I would love to do something with you guys. I think it'd be fantastic. So thank you very much for inviting me.
Oh, thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Great. Take care, and hopefully we'll see you back on another live event.
Yes, anytime. If you guys need anything, just let me know. And enjoy the rest of the show, everybody. I'm going to be listening as well, checking out the smart vacuum.
Thank you, Sam. Take care.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Bye-bye,
bye.
everybody.